They thought it was just another sunny vacation, sand, palm trees, and laughter filling the air. But everything changed in seconds. A black family, simply enjoying their holiday, suddenly found themselves surrounded by flashing lights and suspicion. Stranger stares cut deep, while authority loomed over them with unspoken judgment. The parents held their children close, fear etched on their faces. But then the father stepped forward, and what he revealed left everyone frozen in silence. How could one moment of prejudice turn so quickly into shock and disbelief?
For the Johnson family, vacations were rare treasures. Between school schedules, long work hours, and the daily grind, moments away together felt like fragile gems in time. This trip was supposed to be different, a chance to reset, breathe, and celebrate life under the glow of palm trees and ocean air. Marcus Johnson, a respected professional and devoted father, had worked tirelessly to provide his family with opportunities he never had growing up. His wife, Danielle, balanced warmth and strength, keeping their 3 children grounded and joyful. Together, they embodied everything a family should: love, laughter, and resilience. On this sunny morning, their car rolled into the resort driveway, windows down, the sound of kids' chatter filling the air. The fountain sparkled in the distance, the palms swayed gently, and for a moment it felt like paradise. But beneath the calm exterior of this perfect scene, tension lingered in the shadows, something they could not yet see, but were about to feel. Unbeknownst to them, suspicion was already forming in the eyes of others. A simple family getaway was about to twist into something much darker, and the paradise they had dreamed of would soon reveal a storm that no one had expected.
The calm of the resort vanished in an instant. What began as a dreamlike arrival quickly turned into a scene heavy with suspicion and hostility. As the Johnsons unloaded their bags, they noticed eyes following them, not with curiosity, but with judgment. A white man in a sharp business suit strode toward them, his face twisted with anger. Without hesitation, he began pointing, shouting accusations about suspicious behavior, his voice loud enough to draw a crowd. Danielle instinctively pulled her children closer, her arms shielding them as if danger were closing in. Marcus kept his composure, his jaw tight, but the sting of being singled out in front of strangers was undeniable. The fountain still sparkled, the palms still swayed, but now the beauty of the setting felt cruelly out of place against the ugliness unfolding. Moments later, flashing red and blue lights filled the driveway. Police vehicles rolled up, officers stepping out with stern expressions. The yelling man gestured wildly toward Marcus and his family, insisting they didn't belong, demanding that the officers do something. The crowd thickened, whispers cutting through the air like knives. The Johnson children clung to their mother's legs, confusion written across their faces. They had never seen their father treated this way, never seen strangers act as if their very presence was a threat. The resort's promise of peace had transformed into a stage for humiliation. Marcus tried to speak calmly, but his words were drowned out by the raised voice of authority. One officer stepped forward, his hand hovering near his holster, while another barked instructions. Danielle's heart raced, every parent's nightmare flashing before her eyes. One wrong move, one misinterpreted gesture could change their lives forever. And yet Marcus remained steady. His silence wasn't fear, it was calculation. He knew the weight of the moment, knew that what he chose to do next would decide everything. The tension thickened, the officers' eyes locked on him, the crowd waiting for confirmation of their suspicions. What they didn't know was that Marcus carried something no one expected, and in seconds, that secret would break the tension or shatter it completely. The air grew heavier, silence hanging like a blade over the scene. The officers closed in, their eyes sharp, their movements deliberate. Every second felt like a lifetime. Danielle's grip on the children tightened as tears welled in their eyes. Strangers whispered, some pulling out phones, recording what they assumed would be another tragic headline. Marcus lifted his hands slowly, his heart pounding, but his expression calm. To the officers, it looked like submission, but it was something else. From inside his jacket, he carefully pulled out a small leather case. The tension crackled as one officer barked, "Easy!" hands ready to react. Then, with a steady motion, Marcus flipped it open. The golden letters gleamed under the sunlight. Federal Bureau of Investigation. The crowd gasped. The yelling man froze, his fingers still outstretched, now trembling with shock. The officers' confident stares faltered, confusion spreading across their faces. The silence was deafening. In that moment, every assumption, every prejudice, shattered under the weight of truth. Danielle exhaled a shaky breath, pulling her children even closer. Relief mixed with disbelief, but the sting of humiliation still lingered. They had been forced to stand trial in public, judged not for who they were, but for the color of their skin. Marcus said nothing. He didn't need to. The badge spoke louder than any defense. It was a mirror, reflecting the hypocrisy and ugliness of the moment back at everyone who doubted his worth. But even as the officers stepped back, even as the man in the suit lowered his hand, a bitter question remained. Why did it take a badge for them to see his humanity?
The officers stepped back, their confidence replaced by unease. The man in the suit lowered his hand, his voice silenced by shame. For a moment, the entire resort seemed frozen, forced to confront the weight of what had just unfolded. The Johnson family, once seen as a threat, now stood in the same light they should have been recognized in from the beginning. Innocent, deserving of dignity, human. Danielle held her children tightly, whispering words of comfort, but the fear in their eyes could not be erased so easily. What should have been a joyful vacation memory had been scarred by humiliation, a reminder that no amount of success or status could shield them from prejudice. Marcus remained composed, but inside the sting burned deep. He hadn't wanted to reveal his badge. Not here. Not like this. His identity as a federal agent should never have been necessary for his humanity to be acknowledged. Yet in that moment, it was the only language authority and bias seemed to understand. The family carried on with their trip, but the laughter of the children carried a quieter tone. The memory of flashing lights and hostile stares lingered like a shadow over every sunny day. For Marcus, the incident became more than just a personal affront. It became a mirror of the daily injustices faced by countless black families without a badge to protect them. And so the question remains, why must proof of power or status be the price of dignity? Until society confronts that truth, stories like the Johnsons will continue to echo. The silence after the badge was shown wasn't just shock. It was guilt, shame, and the undeniable reality of racial injustice. Would you have seen Marcus differently, if not for the badge?